Hey guys, I am back with another installment of my AGTube history series. I'm very excited for this one. I've actually been working on this video for over a year now. I think I first had the idea at least a year and a half ago, and then I started working on it with the dolls of the phone box, and we started scripting it, and then she got kind of busy due to college, and she hasn't really been active. So I kept putting this video on the back burner because I was like, well, I don't want to make it without her. But I ended up deciding to revive this old topic and change it up a little bit. So I actually rewrote most of the script, so that's pretty exciting. Anyway, I hope you guys like this talking to the camera setup. I think it's nice, makes it feel a little more personal. So yeah, let me know if you like this. Anyway, time to get to the video topic. If you're a part of the AGTube community, you probably grew up watching old AGTube. And if you've been on AGTube for any length of time, you've definitely heard the phrase, oh, I miss old AGTube. But what even is old AGTube? Was it truly the golden era that we all look up to, or is it simply a period we're nostalgic for because we were kids when we were watching it? In this video, I like to answer those questions by revisiting AGTube's most iconic era. The first question, what is old AGTube? Now, it seems like a pretty simple question. I mean, you probably just thought about Basil Mentos or Girl of the Year Studios or AG Pals or someone like that. But it gets a little more complicated than that. To be honest, old AGTube as a concept is always changing. In my first video in this series, I outlined different eras of AGTube, establishing old AGTube from around 2010 to 2013, a pretty solid definition. And that's when I would define the era, and I'm sure a lot of you guys would agree. However, old AGTube also exists as a concept. People have been expressing their longing for the olden days since AGTube first began. Therefore, this video is going to examine both the established era of old AGTube and the concept of it, as well as our nostalgia influencing our perception of both. While AGTube began in 2007, 2010 to 2013 was, in my opinion, the first real period of growth on AGTube. And during this time, some of the most well-known creators started. For example, 7 of the 15 Basil Mentos videos to have over 1 million views were from during that time. And What Happens When You're at School, published on September 1st, 2010, was our first video to reach that milestone. I feel like the defining characteristic that sets old AGTube apart from later videos is style of videos. But how exactly do we define the old AGTube style? In my opinion, there's an overall feeling that sets old AGTube apart from later videos. Visually, the aspect ratio is a giveaway. The standard aspect ratio during the early 2010s on AGTube was 4:3, while the current standard aspect ratio is 16:9, which is more widescreen, and this change happened during the mid-2010s, which lines up with older AGTubers graduating from Movie Maker to more advanced editing software. Video quality also tended to be lower. I remember watching a video by Forever AGs where she said that she always exported her videos at 480p or lower to save space, which would just be crazy nowadays. As for style, many videos were themed around friendship and acceptance, and their overall wholesome theming makes the videos feel comfy and reminiscent of childhood. In the director's cut for Up a Tree, 4People sought to explain some of the characteristics she felt defined old AGTube.
Whenever I think of old AGTube, I think of the videos that originally inspired me, that were sweet and kind-hearted, and so I got together with some people who are familiar with AGTube. We thought about old videos that were around when old AGTube was kind of like a thing, and we looked for qualities that we thought made them have that old AGTube feeling.
She said that the first quality they identified was a wholesome feeling that embodied childhood and the simplicity of it. I agree, and I think that's where the nostalgia for old AGTube comes from, a longing for childhood and a simpler time. And the opposite side of this comes in the form of joke videos, which were very common. These videos, in my opinion, reflect how we played with our dolls, at least how I and my friends did. Random videos are the ones I made for fun without a script or an idea, and I often made them when I got together with friends. This style of video was heavily influenced by the randomness humor of early YouTube and the TV shows that were airing at the time. For example, when I watched the Queen Reviews series on my favorite show as a kid, iCarly, I realized how much of an impact it had on my own videos when I was younger, and then I started to connect the similarities between my videos and the videos that I loved at that age. For example, let's take a look at the video Slow-Mo Hair Flip Disorder by AG Unicorns, which is essentially a video of 3 friends playing with their dolls, except these friends happen to be some of AGTube's most popular creators at the time: American Girl 077, American Girl 088, and Girl of the Year Studios. As for the video, characters are often mean and somewhat violent to each other, but it's played off as a joke since they're just dolls and it's not meant to make sense. I don't mean to overanalyze a video made by a bunch of children in 2011, but I do think it's interesting to notice how much of an impact the media we consumed as children influenced our sense of humor and, by extension, how we acted. So as I was editing this video about 2 months after I initially filmed it, I made a connection. About a year ago, I'd noticed a trend on old AGTube where stop-motion AGMVs tended to be more serious, while live-action ones were typically parodies. And while I was looking for old chaotic videos of mine to use as evidence in this video, I realized that this kind of applied to AGTube videos in general. Stop-motions tended to be the wholesome videos you remember when you're thinking of old AGTube, while the live-action videos are silly and chaotic and are much funnier when you're a kid. I think this is because stop-motions require more effort and were typically plot-driven, while live-action videos required less effort, and they could easily just be someone recording themselves playing with their dolls. Obviously, there are exceptions, such as less wholesome AGSMs, but that's a discussion for another video. So, I've talked about the era of old AGTube, but the concept of old AGTube and being nostalgic for the old community has existed since the early 2010s. The earliest example I could find is this video from 2012, and I believe it is a response to Girl of the Year Studios asking people to make videos in the old AGTube style, though I couldn't find her original video on that. I must admit that, though I think it's pretty accurate, calling 2010-2013 old AGTube is reflective of my own perspective and when I grew up. If I were to talk to my friends, they would agree with me that this set of years is old AGTube, but if I talked to Girl of the Year Studios or a middle schooler, they'd probably have a different answer. I know that my viewers come from a variety of age groups, and the younger ones likely watch different videos than I did. I mean, I think a really great example of this is from when I hosted AGTube Nostalgia Week last year. You guys had such a wide range of videos you found nostalgic, which I think is really interesting. Though I too am nostalgic for 2016 AGTube, that comes from the fact that I had started my channel around then, so I was already in the community. But to my younger viewers, that's when they began watching. Old AGTube as a concept is the years we grew up watching, and it reflects our nostalgia we have for our childhood when we were part of AG's target demographic. Now I want to discuss how nostalgia affects our thoughts in the era of old AGTube. It's pretty clear that we're all nostalgic for old AGTube, and I can kind of see why. The community was more active back then, and it kind of felt like it was a more carefree time. But I think that's just another indicator that the reason why we love it so much is because it reminds us of being a kid. I've seen a lot of comments over the years saying that video quality didn't matter in old AGTube, which I think is because when you're a kid, it doesn't matter to you as much. When I was younger, nothing mattered when I made videos. I just had fun with it. Now, I put a lot of thought into my videos, and I think most AGTubers who have grown up in this community can agree. Now that we're older, we have a different perspective, and our videos reflect that. I mean, they're higher quality, and a lot of thought goes into them. But that phenomenon has always occurred, whether you're talking about Hysteria 12 in 2011 or AG Jitters in 2021. That's not to say that I think that all old AGTube videos are bad and that we're just being clouded by nostalgia, though. Regardless of the quality of these videos, they've influenced a generation of AGTubers, and the creativity of the older creators shines through limits of technology or experience. So, as I wrap up this video, I like to go back to my questions at the beginning. But what even is old AGTube? Was it truly the golden era that we all look up to, or is it simply a period we're all nostalgic for because we were kids when we were watching it? I think we've covered the second question well enough. I mean, we're pretty nostalgic for old AGTube as it reminds us of our childhoods and a more carefree time. Although I don't know if you can objectively call something a golden era, I don't think the fact that we're nostalgic for it negates the quality or lasting impact these videos have. I mean, old AGTube videos will forever be iconic in my mind, and they have the views and relevance to prove that they have reached people and are still considered important to the community today. No matter what era of AGTube we grew up watching, though, most of us share the fact that we were in part raised by this community. I can't tell you how many times I've watched some of the videos that I've referenced in this one, and they really had a huge impact on me growing up. Obviously, I wouldn't have this channel if it hadn't been for them, but I wouldn't have discovered my love for making videos or writing scripts either. I know of AGTubers such as Rockstar 13 Studios and Atomic Betty 334 who went on to study film in college, because AGTube helped them discover their love for creating videos. Overall, AGTube has impacted us in many different ways, and old AGTube tends to be what drew us to the community in the first place. Whether or not nostalgia is clouding our view of the past, AGTube has always been a place of creativity and a positive community to grow up in, and I am glad to be part of this community. So, thank you for watching this video. I had a lot of fun putting it together, even though it took me like over a year. This video is actually setting up some future AGTube history videos. I am working on the one in part as a college research project on gender and boy dolls, which I think is going to be pretty interesting. And I'm also working on some other videos about diversity on AGTube, as well as the theme of growing up. So let me know in the comments which one you find the most interesting, and if you liked this video, please let me know. Smash the like button, smash the subscribe button, you know how it is. Anyway, yeah, thank you for watching this video, and stay tuned for future ones. Bye!